What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods, and you guys might see a familiar face next to me, man. I caught up with him at the HBCU Legacy Bowl for a short interview after practice, man. But we wanted to get him on here and get a more complete story about, his journey to the NFL draft, his career at Texas Southern and SMU, and everything like that. But we got Texas Southern defensive end Michael Badejo with us today, man. Michael, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, man, everyone knows you're out of the state of Texas. Playing high school football is different. I've had a few guys from Texas on here, and they're very outspoken about Texas high school football and how there's no other state that can compete with you guys. But for you, looking back, how much did Texas high school football prepare you for the grind of college football?
Yeah, it definitely made me aggressive, going into the fact that, this is a huge state that talks about football all the time. You get comparison with Cali, Florida, Nevada, places like that. But, Texas, all we talk about is sports like football. So it definitely gave me the aggression, to, play with a passion.
Definitely. And so, looking at your recruitment, man, you had a really successful high school career, held offers from a lot of different places. What was your recruitment process like, and which teams were recruiting you the hardest?
Yeah, so the recruiting process was really hard for me, just because I didn't really know where to go. Even my family, they didn't really care where I went. They just wanted me to get that, that degree at the end of the day. So it was really my head coach was helping me out. When it came down to it, I know Washington and SMU, U of H. I think those three were really hard on recruiting. I think I just narrowed it down to just being in Texas still, because I wanted my parents to come to my games, every single one. So yeah, that was the biggest thing. SMU was just pretty much home to me at that point.
It was a good decision, man. And so, outside of just being home, speak on the coaching staff, their pitch to you. What were some of the other factors that led you to commit to SMU out of high school?
Yeah. So also there was a connection I had with a teammate named Michael Scott. They're twins, Michael Scott and Delonte Scott. They're twins out there. I had a good connection with them before I committed there. Then also my head coach daughter, she was working there. So and I was already cool with her when she was working at my high school. So that was a cool connection too. And then with the head coach, I kind of knew him throughout high school. He came to visit a few times my freshman year, sophomore year, and I kind of got serious with him, my junior year. So we already had that connection throughout the whole recruiting process. So like I said, kind of just felt like home.
Definitely. And so, right about the time I know I was reading, I went back before the interview and was reading some articles when you announced your decision to transfer. A lot of people were surprised by it. And, even the head coach comes out and says, Michael's coming back after, he handles some things in terms of personal life. For you, what factors led you to transfer from SMU before your junior year?
Yeah, I think it was just what was best for me. When it came down to just playing time and just I just felt like I was at home when I came to Texas Southern and just met the coaches there. Even at SMU, I built a lot of connections with players and teammates. Coaches and people on the staff as well. I made a lot of connections. So, making the decision to go to Texas Southern, it was probably the right decision for me. And, people kind of see the outcome, how I did too. So it was a blessing to do that.
Definitely. And so I always like asking players about this, especially ones that have been in the transfer portal. How different was your high school recruiting process from your from your transfer portal recruiting process?
I think the biggest one was probably like I've kind of felt alone. It's a dark area to be in. You don't know who will be able to take you other than, in high school, you're starting fresh. You're getting ready for a college coach to hit you up. Other than being in college already and you're in that transfer portal, it's really a dark, kind of a scary place to be in. You just never know. You might just be ended up at a community college and just finishing up. You don't know. So it is a dark, scary place, but at the end of the day, somebody will find you and pick you up.
Well, I mean, that's probably the most real answer I've ever heard about it. Everyone kind of talks about how great it was because their university they wound up at was recruiting them. But for you, looking at even the players like you said now that are still in the transfer portal as we're hitting the beginning of March tomorrow, there's still players without a home that are in the transfer portal. So I'm glad you kind of spoke on that. But the FCS went through a weird previous year, man. Everyone got moved to the spring, and then you got to play 2 full seasons in a calendar year. Some teams didn't play, cancel practices, cancel games. For you, how tough was the COVID season on yourself and Texas Southern as a program?
Well, I think it really hit us tough until later on, but I think at the beginning it really was a blessing in disguise for a lot of players, even like me. Getting the extra year to just to go showcase, even though we only had like 2 games that COVID season, and then it got canceled out due to COVID. But it gives us a light and attention to get more playing time, more highlights. Just to showcase. Somebody loves the game, and you get an opportunity to play the game again with an extra year. You got to take advantage of that. So that was a pretty cool experience for us.
Absolutely. And coming into the season, man, there were a lot of people that were just kind of counting Texas Southern out, and you guys pulled off some big upsets this year, really showed a lot of improvement on the field. What were your takeaways, and what was different about this year's Texas Southern team?
I think at the end of the day, everybody came together, and it was a bond. That was the hardest thing to ever do ever since I stepped up here at Texas Southern, because I was so used to what I used to have at SMU. When I walked in, it was already a bond, a connection. So that's why the program was doing so well. So, but when I walked in at TSU, I kind of knew that mindset of, the environment I was in, that I had to, step out my comfort zone and try to get the team together just how I used to be at SMU. So, it was cool, the fact that the players and the coaches, they voted me up to be team captain. And that kind of gave me a big role and a lot on my plate to know that, all right, now I have to do this. Now I got to get the team together so we can win some games. So that was still cool that I was able to do that.
Absolutely. And so this all season, man, this is where, me and you caught up the first time, man, the HBCU Legacy Bowl. We talked midweek about what some of your goals were, how you were feeling at that point. But now that the whole process is over, what were your biggest takeaways, and how do you feel about your performance down there in New Orleans?
I feel like I did pretty good. I know I got some scouts, to write my name down on a journal and stuff like that. And I just feel like I played with a lot of energy, like I always do. So I'm glad I got their attention and got pulled down to the 9 to 10 meetings with the scouts, and talk, just rap with them, tell them about me, and they tell me about them. So it's just a good feeling to know that I'm on somebody's radar.
Yeah, and also, just you don't have to give me all the details, man, but I know people are curious. What was some of the feedback you got from the scouts at the Legacy Bowl about, you as a prospect overall?
I think the biggest thing majority of them were saying is that I'm very coachable. They took the coaching that I got from the coaches down there, and they seen like some people were uncomfortable to step in on special team. And I think what they seen the most was that I stepped in as a defensive lineman, stepped in on special teams for kickoff return, stuff that you really don't see a defensive lineman do. But, I'll do whatever it takes, to get on that 53-man roster.
I like it, man. I know a lot of scouts, like you said, love to hear that. And finally, man, how big of a moment do you feel looking back now this was for HBCUs, the SWAC, MEAC, the D2 conferences? How big of a moment is this to get you guys in front of the scouts on NFL Network and have your own event where you can showcase your talents?
Man, it's a blessing just to be able to be a part of that and be the first to be a part of that. It's a blessing. So I feel like we did a great job, players and everybody working in the staff that, kind of showcased and started off everything to show everybody else for next year and the years after that, to let them know like this is for real, like it's not a joke. Like if you get the opportunity to get this, like take advantage of it. So it was a blessing, to get the chance to experience that.
Absolutely. So let's take a step back, man. It's been a long time, but let's take a step back in time. Take me back to freshman year and look at yourself, the guy I'm talking to now. How has your game evolved over your time in college football?
Yeah. So my freshman year, when I was at SMU, I got named a starter after our like scrimmage or fall camp. I didn't know I was going to be a starter, but I automatically thought I was going to get redshirted. But when I got the starting job, I was really nervous and all that. But from my freshman year to now, I should have took advantage of being more consistent and just showing more love to the weight room. I was one of those guys that kind of ran away from the weight room, but was always doing everything right on the football field. But I feel like if I would have stayed consistent with the weight room all the way to now, it'd probably been a different story. But, everything just happens for a reason.
Absolutely, man. And let's get to know you just a bit more as a player, man. I know it's real tough to compare games, especially for defensive linemen with all the different skill sets out there. But for you, who do you try to model your game after who's currently in the NFL?
Yeah, so you got guys like Aaron Donald and TJ Watt. I say TJ Watt just because him at a 5 tech and he can play linebacker as well. Like he can move really well and explosive. So I just feel like I can nature my game with him. And then with Aaron Donald, he moves around from 5, 3 tech. He moves all around on the D line. That's kind of how they had me at TSU. I moved around on D line, playing my first time playing 3 tech and 2 I. I wasn't comfortable at first, but after watching Aaron Donald's film and watching other guys film in colleges, I kind of got comfortable, and I noticed that my game was more like him. He's very violent and relentless, on the way he plays.
I like those comparisons, man. I mean, Aaron Donald. I mean, the debate can rage on, man, but I mean, he's got to be in that conversation for the GOAT of defensive linemen for sure. But I know when I was playing, even as a lineman, I was very superstitious, which is so weird for offensive linemen. But for you, what is your pregame?
After I pray, I call my mom. We just get to talking. She gets my mind away from football. And then I get back focused. Then I call my girl. She's quick to calm me down because I get nervous, but it'd be like nervous of excitement. So she'll calm me down quick. Send that good luck message. I'll read it a few times and then pumps me up to listening to my music and just going from there, stretching and get it going.
I like it. I like it. So you don't have to give away all your secrets, man. I know there's some offensive linemen probably watching this trying to get the edge up. But what is the number one mistake an offensive lineman can make against you?
The number one mistake they can make against me. I think the biggest thing they'll probably do is just stepping on the field against me. They probably just need to put somebody else out there, but it doesn't even matter. It's just stepping on the field. Like, I just feel like anybody that come against me that's not my teammate, I just feel like, it's a game. I just feel like it's disrespect just because you think you got somebody that can hold me. But at the end of the day, you can't.
That is by far that's the number one answer I've ever gotten for that question. He said just showing up on game day, getting off the bus is disrespectful. That's the number one mistake. I love it, man. I love the confidence. And for you, defensive lineman, and listen, Team Robinson, you guys were talking a lot on Saturday at the Legacy Bowl. You guys had the bonding that I saw you guys go through from Tuesday to Saturday was remarkable on Team Robinson, man. You guys were really close. But for you, are you a trash talker always, or are you more of the quiet type?
Yeah. So when it comes to like me doing the trash talk stuff, I like to just stay to myself. Sometimes I talk mess, after making plays, big plays and stuff. But I'm not one of those guys, when I talk mess and I can't back it up. Majority of the time, I talk mess and then I back it up real quick. Kind of get under their sleeves and everything, get them hyped up. But when you get under their skin, that's when you're winning. So majority of the time, I just stay to myself. But just to have a little fun, I'll do sometimes.
I like it, man. So we'll give a little bit of credit to the other side of the ball, man. When you're looking back on your career, this could be high school, teammate at SMU, at Texas Southern, or someone you played against. Who are some of the best offensive players you've ever had to go up against?
Man, I'm not really good with names, but I can talk about like throughout season. At Texas Southern, I played against this guy. He was one of the opposite tackles with Southern, but I guess with names, somebody I played with that was really competitive. Is the guy named Nathaniel Hines. He was out there with me for the Legacy Bowl at TSU. He moved across the line. He played center, guard, tackle, but he was playing tackle over there at the Legacy Bowl. But when he first transferred at TSU, he was playing tackle. Me and him was going back and forth a lot. So I got to give him credit. So he's really good. I know there's a guy at UAPB. I think his name is Mark Evans, something like that.
Yep.
He's pretty good. He's real good. I went back and forth with him. So I got to give it to those two, all three of those guys.
Oh, man, I like it. I like it. And so everyone knows in the draft process, man, especially, myself, I see it covering FCS. A lot of people overlook players due to playing at the FCS level. What is your response to those who may overlook you for playing at the FCS?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just happening a lot. Then you see guys getting drafted from D2, D3. It's just kind of how it is with this. It sucks, but I mean, it's just like you just gotta suck it up and just keep going. Like if you have the right numbers, and you play hard with your bowl games, somebody's gonna see you and somebody's gonna take you. So it's just one of those things where it sucks, but it's just reality. You just got to keep going and keep pushing.
Oh man, I like that. And then, everyone's got their own type of motivation, man. Things that keep them going year in and year out, especially with all the accolades and the Legacy Bowl and things that you've gotten to do and that you've achieved. What keeps you driven to keep going to that next level?
Shoot, really, my biggest thing is football. Really, all I got. You know, I'm not one of those people where it's just like if I don't got football, then I'll go do this. That really football all I got. Like, of course I got my degree and I'm about to get another one, but that's just like I'm supposed to do that. With football, like I want to get it. I want to make a difference. Just for me and my family. So, and at the end of the day, I mean, I'm gonna find a way to make it out with football too.
I love it, man. And then finally, when an NFL franchise asks you what they're going to get if they draft you in April, what do you tell them?
You're gonna get a guy that's coachable, man. You're gonna get a guy that's relentless. He's gonna get it. He's gonna run to the ball. A guy's gonna play through the whistle. A go getter. At the end of the day, there's not a lot of guys you can find like that. It's rare. So that's what you're getting.
I like it, man. And listen, I'm going to be following very closely, man. I'm invested in this, and I'm hoping to hear your name in April. And if not, I know you're going to be on that 53-man roster come August of this year. But this time is yours, man. Shout out anybody you want to shout out. Plug your social media. Where can people follow your journey? And I know today you got a big announcement too. I'm gonna let you drop that on here too. I know I posted it on our Instagram, and you've had a bunch of people share it too, that you were the player of the week this week, selected but by a certain sponsor. But I'll let you drop it, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so definitely, I got that shout out by the SWAC and USAA by being Defensive Player of the Week or Player of the Week, which is a huge deal. As a lot of players in the SWAC, man, like a lot, and they reached out to me and put me out there, so that was a big deal, man. I appreciate you showing love for that too. Definitely shout out to my people back home, all my siblings and my moms, my three homeboys, Ethan, Jody, and Tanner. They've been staying with me ever since, from high school, SMU to TSU. They've been staying with me whole time. Definitely shout out to my girl. She's been supportive. Even when it gets hard, it do get hard through this draft process. It gets tough. And, she's been very, very supportive and being there by my side. And, just shout out to my TSU coaches, just being there and being supportive. I need all the support I can get at this point. So I appreciate them.
Man, absolutely. And you guys know what it is here. It's always about supporting the players. So make sure to go follow Michael on all social media. It's going to be linked below, and he's going to be tagged in everything that we post on social media. So give him a follow, man. Follow this journey. And also when he gets in the NFL, I'm expecting some of y'all to buy some jerseys. We need some jerseys wherever he may wind up. So make sure to buy them jerseys. But guys, for Michael, myself, and the Blue Bloods, we are out for right now.